Alrighty, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Thursday Night Thunder, brought to you by KMA TV, KMA Motorsport, or KMA Racing, and RTK Motorsports. Drivers getting ready to start their qualifying. We are here at Daytona International Speedway tonight. Track length is 2.479 miles. Track temperature is currently 73.2 degrees. This is Thursday Night Thunder here at Daytona International Speedway, and we're going to have a dandy of a race tonight. We have a ton of cars. Hopefully they'll all make it through qualifying and out on the track, but was noticing in practice we had a lot of cars out there, so should be an interesting night. As you can probably see, we have quite a few popular names scrolling through on that list up on top there. Travis Browder will be joining us tonight. Edward Bray, Everett Lane, a lot of drivers out there joining in tonight with our Thursday Night Thunder. Showing we had 42 cars enter the server tonight. Of course, we won't have all 42 drivers out there. Some of them do not meet the requirements. Don't have microphones. Microphones are mandatory. But still, we should have quite a few cars tonight in this field. Wait till the qualifying's over, and I'll let you know you'll see exactly how many cars we'll have tonight. A little bit about Daytona, a little bit more about Daytona, since we've got a little bit of time to burn before qualifying is over. As said before, track length is 2.5 miles. The normal race here is 500 miles. That's 200 laps. The grandstands can accommodate up to 168,000 fans. So there's a little bit of information there for you, and since we've got a little bit of time, I think the qualifying's running a little bit later than normal. Like to throw out some information about PADD, People Against Distracted Driving. While we've got a moment here, and talk about that and try to get that kind of information out there to everybody watching and everyone that will be watching. People Against Distracted Driving is an organization that's trying to spread the word about what can happen when you drive distracted, whether that be texting, whether that be eating, talking on the cell phone. It can do serious damage to not only your family but someone else's. So please visit padd.org and check out the website, check out the information that you see out there, and make sure that we do better as a society. I'd imagine the drivers are getting ready to finish up those qualifying efforts. We should be getting the results in here just shortly. See, we have gone to the checkered state for qualifying, so we should be seeing the drivers lining up here on pit row. Give them just a minute to get gridded up, and then we will take it the overhead. Alrighty, our qualifying order is in. We have Wilson DeCastro on the front row, John Rogers on the outside pole, Don Williams starting third, Joel Guy will be rolling off fourth, Travis Browder rolling off fifth on that inside lane, Gary Whitmer Jr. going to be rolling off sixth. Seventh will be Kerry Allen Stewart, who won one of these super speedways last week, I believe. Followed by the number 66, Edward Bray, the Reaper himself, will be rolling off 8th tonight. Rolling off 9th will be Dylan Alt. Rolling off 10th will be Everett Lane, another favorite out there. Rolling off 11th will be Colin Bauer. 12th will be Brandon Harder. 13th will be Lee Staples. 14th will be Sean Powell. 15th, Donald Stewart. 16th, Raymond Vasquez. 17th, Thomas Jowers Jr. 18th, Alan Hullen. 19th will be Jason Eisenhower. And rounding out your top 20 will be Kyle Lapik. Rolling off 21st will be Nathan Karn. 22nd, Sean Boundy. 23rd, Richard Murtaugh. 24th, 25th, we have Invalid. 25th, Frank DaCosta. 26th, Harry Dodd. 27th, Nick Indelicato. 28th, Mauricio Alves. 29th, Josh Lewis. 30th, Cristiano Kagani. 31st, Steve Blankenship. 32nd will be John Henderson. 33rd, James Daziel. 34th, Ted Clements. 35th, Stephen Hamill II. 36th, Zach Ditto. 37th, showing me I will not be out there this evening. 38th, Kevin Scott Nelson. 39th, Bob Westermore. 40th will be Lee Ryerson Jr. and 41st, Eric Holland. 42nd, Kerry Fuster. And 43rd, Chris Hogue. Drivers have taken the green flag. We are underway. Inside lane not moving, and we already have a spinner to the inside. Not sure if that's going to bring out a caution. No caution as of yet. John Rogers down on that inside lane. Edward Bray on the outside lane. Travis Browder pushing on John Rogers in the number 32 of Colin Bauer pushing on Edward Bray. Couple of cars coming out of pit road. Looks like the pack has broken up now into 2 or 3 separate packs with a slight breakaway in the front. Edward Bray clears number 22 and pulls down in front of John Rogers. The outside line moving very well. The number 32 getting a big run with the help of Everett Lane. Everett Lane still pushing on the back of Colin Bauer. Colin Bauer dropping down, taking that inside lane. That'll leave Everett Lane to the outside. Not a lot of movement now. Colin Bauer sitting down on that inside lane with the help of Edward Bray. Outside lane has Everett Fastlane and Joel Guy along with Gary Whitmer. As we take a look at Travis Browder, 4th on that inside line. Jump in the cockpit here with Travis Browder. We take a ride around here with Travis Browder around this 2.5 mile an hour, 2.5 mile speedway. Travis Browder sitting in 7th position, just 2/10 off of the lead. Not a lot going on. Looks like the boys are pretty happy to be just kind of riding around. Alrighty, well, here we go for our first trivia question of the evening. Hope you guys are all polished up on your Daytona facts. How long did it take to build Daytona International Speedway? Throw up your guesses out there or your answers out there on that KMA TV chat, and I'll let you know if you are correct. As we watch Colin Bauer still leading down on that inside lane, Edward Bray on the outside. Sorry, on second on the inside lane. On the outside, you've got Everett Lane and Joel Guy, followed by Gary Whitmer Jr. Lee Staples down on that inside lane. Looks like the number 42 of Sean Powell is just behind Edward Bray, sitting third on that inside line. Gonna jump up to the leader and walk you through the field. Colin Bauer currently sitting in the number 1 position. Number 42 of Sean Powell currently sitting in second. Edward Bray sitting third. Everett Lane on that outside lane in the number 35 running fourth. Lee Staples running fifth. Joel Guy running sixth. Donald Stewart running seventh. Gary Whitmer Jr. currently running eighth. Brandon Harder running in 10th. Raymond Vasquez has actually taken the 9th position away. John Rogers fallen back to 11th. Wilson DeCastro in the 151 back to 13th position. Travis Browder back in 14th. Don Williams currently sitting 14th now, the 151. Of Wilson DeCastro, rounding out your top 14. Then we drop back to the second pack. Currently in 15th, 13 seconds off the lead is Lee Ryerson Jr., Thomas Jowers Jr., Kevin Scott Nelson, Kyle Schlappick, and 19th, John Henderson. Then 20th, Jason Eisenhower has fallen off and has no help, currently running back 36 seconds behind the leaders. Terry Allen Stewart is 3 laps down, must have been involved in an incident early on. Dylan Alt still on the lead lap, 41 seconds behind the leaders. Leaders will be coming up on them as you can see them just out of the frame. I'll swing the camera around. There are the leaders coming fast. Sean Powell has taken that number 1 spot. Edward Bray has found his way to the outside lane. Edward Bray attempting to make a run at that front position. So far tonight, just 13 laps in, but we are clean and green. Current leader, Sean Powell, just 14 of 100 laps complete. We've had 5 lead changes already. No cautions. Hopefully we will keep that trend up. Edward Bray and Lee Staples working together, making their way up to the front, staying hooked up, pulling down in front of the number 42. Everett Lane hung out there by himself. Sean Powell decides he's going to jump up into that outside lane and give some assistance as we go 3 wide with the number 36 car of Jason Eisenhower and the 56 of Kerry Allen Stewart, along with the number 23 of Dylan Alt. Looked like I saw some sparks there. One of those cars might have gotten the wall just a little bit, but we stay green. Edward Bray continuing to lead. Gonna jump up to the blimp view and see what our pack looks like. Those cars that were getting past have fallen in line. They may be able to hang on to the tail end of this pack here, as we have answers for the first trivia question of the night. David Casey with 2 years. That is very close. Unfortunately, I don't have a bell, but ding, 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 Becky Whitmer with the correct answer. That one took you guys a little bit longer, so I must be on the right track. Congratulations out there to Becky Whitmer getting another one of those trivia questions correct. So it is Thursday night, and like to do this on Thursday nights. Tonight I am offering up an RTK Motorsports t-shirt to the person that can correctly pick our winner by lap 55. Got to change it up every once in a while. I'm going to go with lap 55 tonight. So you got to have your picks in by lap 55 on who you think is going to win. If you pick correctly, I will send you an RTK Motorsports t-shirt. Sorry to hear that, Becky. Hope you get to feeling better. As we watch our lead pack of cars now down to just about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 cars in that lead pack. Sean Powell out there in that number 1 position. Started 14th, has led 6 laps. Last lap was a 45.183. Fast lap of 44.949. They're currently running 200 miles per hour into the corners. Colin Bauer starting 11th, has led 6 laps, currently in 2nd place. Edward Bray started 8th, led 5 laps so far. Everett Lane started 10th, has led 1 lap. Raymond Vasquez started 16th, currently in 6th. No laps led as of yet. Least April started 13th, currently up in 5th. Don Williams started 3rd, sitting back in 7th. As we got a wiggly squiggly down on the yellow line, keeps it straight. I believe that may be the number 78 car. Not positive. Let's see if I'm correct. Looked like Donald Stewart might have gotten a little bit loose. Going through the tri-oval, we'll back it up. Go in the cockpit. Gets a little bit loose here through the tri-oval. manages to save it, but he's going to end up losing that lead pack, unfortunately. We go back to live. Donald Stewart now 5.8 seconds off the lead, but unfortunately has no one to run with. That is going to make Donald Stewart's night very difficult. Jump up to blimp mode, you can see Donald Stewart has no help in front or behind. Jump back up to our leader. Sean Powell and Colin Bauer battling it out for that top spot. Edward Bray back in that second row inside. Outside you've got Everett Lane. And caution is out. We try to see what happened here. I'm not seeing... Oh, there's the incident, folks. Dylan Alt and looks like possibly Carrie Allen Stewart. Not sure. Back it up. Nope, Carrie Allen Stewart was not in that. Let's jump down to the 23 and the 36. Just a little bit of touch in that right rear fender, sending the 36 for a ride. The 23 getting a lot of damage but keeping it rolling. So that's what will bring out our first caution of the night at lap 24 of 100. I would imagine all the leaders are going to be pitting, as we are on lap 24 of 100, and the normal pit window is about 28 to 30 laps. Our leader Sean Powell bringing it down pit road, getting a little bit of damage there. Gonna be between the number 42 and the 32. Pit road is a very difficult place to be. Edward Bray rocketing out of pit road, possibly in that number 1 position. Sean Powell rolling out, Travis Browder and the rest of the crew coming off pit road. This will give a chance for the guys that had fallen off the pace to get back up with that lead pack now. I am showing the number 66 of Edward Bray leading this race. Let's go ahead and see if we can get an interview in with one of our top 3 here real quick. Everett Lane, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you doing, Ronald?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, sir?
Well, not too bad tonight.
You guys look like you guys were getting some good laps in. Unfortunate incident there, kind of with a couple of drivers. I think they were trying to make up time and might have been pushing a little too hard. But first caution of the night, a little better than normal. Sometimes, you know, usually we're having them in the after about 10 laps. Tonight we made 25 laps. How's the car treating you tonight?
The car's really good tonight, Ronald. We had some good racing up here up front. I think I pushed like 5 different drivers to the lead there. I was hoping to get some help from the back, but we got a long way to go, and just try to keep it up front and out of trouble.
Copy that. Well, I don't have much else for you at this point. Hope to talk to you again throughout the race. Hopefully, it won't be a caution. Maybe I'll get to talk to you because you were either on the podium or win this thing.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Pull
Or
off another win. I got one the other night over there at the pad race. We'll see what happens here.
copy that. On one last note before I let you go, I see you're not in the number 24. Somebody must have gotten your number tonight, huh?
Yeah, someone got in the room before I did, but that happens in iRacing. You can't always get that favorite number, but we'll see if we can't take 35 to victory lane.
Copy that. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Ronald.
Alrighty, folks. Everett Lane. Let's go ahead and grab the man who was one of the guys who was kind of in an incident there. Donald Stewart, Ronald Klein, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Ronald. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. Big break for you, I would say, with that caution coming out. I happened to catch you getting a little wiggly squiggly and not sure what started it, and then I saw you kind of cross the line in the trial. We'll get sideways and save it. But unfortunately, you fell back, without the pack there. Fortunate break for you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Actually, I was making pit adjustments, getting ready for pit stops, and I looked down just for a second, and I touched the apron, and it sucked me right in, and then you know what happens after that.
I sure do. Well, like I said, I'm glad that the caution came out. This kind of gives everybody a chance to get a little bit of a break. I know we hate cautions, but gives everybody a chance to kind of settle down and kind of brings the field back together after a couple unfortunate incidents that didn't bring out the caution early on. So we'll have a nice pack of cars again, and should be some exciting racing. You got anything for those guys up front?
Yeah, we're all sitting on the same setup, so it's just a matter of being there at the end and having a little bit of help, and you can get up front and try to win this thing.
Alrighty, sir. Well, it looks like you guys are double file getting ready to go back to green. I'll let you go, and hope to talk to you later.
Okay, buddy. Have a good time up there.
You too. Alright, we're here from Donald Stewart. That's kind of almost, you got to make the pit adjustments, but this is what we mean and when we talk about distracted driving, even just taking, like he said, he just took his eyes off of it for just a quick second. As we do get ready to go back to green flag racing, gonna jump back up with our leader, Edward Bray. Pace car is off and we are away. Outside lane getting a little better run than that inside lane. Everett Lane looks like he's going to make that move down to the inside. Inside is where he wants to be. Going to have the number 66 pushing on him. Number 18 of Travis Browder giving a good hard shove to the number 42 of Sean Powell. That inside lane fighting back though. Everett Lane and Edward Bray got it hooked up and they are moving forward. As I said earlier, while I was talking to Donald Stewart, this does bring the pack kind of back together, so these guys will have a chance to actually be in the race. Currently showing 18 drivers on the lead lap with 2 drivers 2 laps down. Those drivers being Jason Eisenhower and Kerry Allen Stewart. Everyone else has taken it to the hauler or out getting repairs. All right, so we've got Gary Whitmer Sr. picking the number 66 to win again by lap 55. So you have 25 laps to pick who you think is going to win this race for a chance at an RTK Motorsports t-shirt. Check out some of these paint jobs on these hot rods out here. Taking a look at Everett Lane's Fast Lane Racing KMA hot rod. Looks like the number 42 of Sean Powell out there being supported by the Wrangler team tonight. Travis Browder sporting the Game News 24 paint job. On that inside lane, a paint job we're familiar with. Edward Bray in the Reaper car. Number 13 of Don Williams out there in the Georgia sponsored car. Lee Staples in the Staples CAD-Tech LA Graphics Chevrolet Impala. Donald Stewart out there in the number 78 Haviline car. Sporting Dirt Devil and Kmart, Magnaflow and Simpson making racing equipment. As we go three wide here, John Rogers on the inside, the number 78 of Donald Stewart on the inside, and the 02 of Brandon Harder on the outside. Looks like Brandon Harder may have just brushed the wall slightly there, trying to pull back down. This will be a dangerous move if he does. We're going to have to stay three wide here. Brandon Harder finding himself a place to get back down. We are no longer three wide. Got to hold your breath there for a moment when moments like that happen. As the number 42 of Sean Powell and the number 18 of Travis Browder get to the front. Everett Lane moving from the bottom lane to the outside lane, hoping that Lee Staples will give him the shove that he needs to get back to the front. Get back to looking at some of these cars. We're looking at the number 78 Haviland car. We'll take a look at the 151 of Wilson DeCastro and the Miller Genuine Draft Mobile 1 Pontiac Grand Prix. That is definitely a throwback scheme. To his outside, we've got Colin Bauer in the number 32 Home Depot car. I'm guessing that Colin Bauer either really likes Home Depot or he is a Tony Stewart / Matt Kenseth fan. Drop one car back. We got the 183 of Thomas Jowers Jr. driving the UPS car, made famous by Dale Jarrett. Drop back to the number 22. No sponsors on that flame job. Flame paint job. Oh, there we go. There's a George on there. John Rogers must have some affiliation to Georgia. Kevin Scott Nelson in the Juniper Networks 224. Also see an Eris sign there. Dropping back one more position to John Henderson in the Adidas number 10. Being passed on the inside by Gary Whitmer Jr. sporting the KMA TV Gearhead Paint Shop KMA Racing KMA TV Chevrolet Impala. Directly behind Gary Whitmer looks like we've got the 91 of Joel Guy sporting the City Chevrolet, made famous by the movie Days of Thunder, of course. I've already spoke about the number 10. Well, it looks like we've got Cole Trickle's other car. We've got the Mellow Yellow car made famous by Cole Trickle in the Days of Thunder movie. Number 14, currently in 16th position, being driven by Kyle Schlappick. And the number 125 jumping to that outside, Lee Ryerson Jr. in the New Jersey 125 car. Number 36 of Jason Eisenhower sitting on pit road with quite a bit of damage. The Google Sim dashboard car unfortunately out of the race at this time. Brandon Harder looks like he has lost the draft, running with no sponsors on the car. Kerry Allen Stewart also off the pace, running the number 56, the Bite Size Fiction Project. SheilaLeeBrown.com sponsored Ford. And then it's back to our leaders, folks. So there's the field, there's the paint jobs for tonight. Hope you enjoyed a trip around Daytona and got a chance to take a look at all the cars. Becky Whitmer chiming in for the number 42 to win. A lot of good cars out here tonight. Gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be back here in just a few moments. And while we were away, the field has shaken up a little bit. Everett Lane now down on that inside lane. Number 42 of Shane Powell. Shane Powell on that outside lane. Travis Browder on the outside lane, push on Shane Powell. And the number 64 down on the inside lane with his teammate directly behind him, Edward Bray. Pack's doing a very good job of staying together, staying tight. A lot of cars here in this pack. Joel Guy looks like he's currently the last driver in this pack, needing to be careful not to lose that number 5 car. Gary Whitmer Jr. does unfortunately lose the draft. He will fall victim. Doing a great job of pulling back up to the number 5 car as we go 3 wide in the corner here. Gonna bring the cameras back up. Hopefully we can keep it green here. As we do, still going to be 3 wide. The number 42 of Sean Powell getting shuffled all the way from the front to the rear. Gonna take a quick look at the side of his car. No damage. Might have just gotten shuffled out. Everett Lane up in that front position. Looking back, we see the 64, Elise Staples, coming up to his bumper, giving him just a little bit of a push. Switches to the high lane. Travis Browder going to give him a shove. Going to go to the overhead so we can see a little bit better action here. Alrighty, folks, not exactly sure what brought out the caution. Sorry for the crash there. We are back up and running. Unfortunately, we are currently under a yellow flag condition, and unfortunately, I cannot tell you why. Looks like the drivers are bringing it down pit road, though, on lap 48 of 100. See if we can get a quick chat in with Edward Bray. Edward Bray, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, unfortunately, I had a DirectX error and had to restart iRacing, and when we came back, we were under caution. So, wondering if you might be able to help fill in the viewers as to what happened there.
Yeah, we had Everett and Lee Staples in front of me on the inside, and Lee Staples was pushing the heck out of Everett, and not exactly sure if one came down, one went up, and at the time that Lee went to push, it was a bumper hook, so it sort of got Everett straight up in the wall, so it created a big one.
Copy that. So, quite a few cars involved, I assume, then?
Yes.
Alrighty, well, thanks for the race update on that part of it. Were you involved in that?
No, it was not.
So you still have your reset and you're good to go?
Yes, sir.
Copy that. Talk to me about how your night's going.
So far, it's just going all right. I mean, KMA has been pretty much up front pretty much all night, and um, hopefully we can keep it that way and see if we can't bring somebody from KMA to the win.
Copy that. That's kind of what I've been seeing too, is most of the drivers from KMA finding their way towards the front. A couple unfamiliar names still out there, but looks like everybody's doing a pretty good job, and hopefully not too many cars will be tore up. We'll be going through the field here once I let you go and taking a look at all the cars.
Appreciate it, Ron.
Alrighty, we'll have a good night. Hope to see you, or hope to talk to you again at the end of the night.
Thanks.
Alrighty, folks, there you have it. Unfortunately, once again, apologize for the inconvenience there of having a computer failure. Not much I could do about it, unfortunately, but nonetheless, still a bit aggravating. I'm showing Don Williams as the leader currently. He is in the number 13 car here. Gonna walk back through the field and take a look at these cars and see if we can find much damage. The 32 is looking pretty clean. Edward Bray and the number 66 is looking okay. The number 42 of Sean Powell looking okay. Drivers getting ready to go back to green. They're getting lined up. 35 is looking clean. Number 5 looking clean as well. The 151 looks okay. 224, 151, 183, 178, 151, the 114, the 10, the 22, the 02, 56, 18, and the 64 all look like they are in pretty good shape. Here comes the 91. Jump up to him real quick. Not seeing any damage on Joel Guy's car. It looks like most of the drivers probably took that chance and got the damage repaired, probably with their fast repairs, since this was the first major caution. Not really seeing much damage on any of the cars. As we get ready to go back to green. Don Williams down on that inside lane. Alan Bauer on the outside lane. Ed Bray down on the inside lane, giving the 13 a hard shove. Gonna see if Edward Bray might possibly take the opportunity to jump up, and he does. Everett Lane jumping up as well. That inside lane is definitely going to have to slow down and check up. The 13 is going to lose a lot of speed. Inside lane does check up, allowing that outside lane to move down. As we come to lap 48 of 100, we're almost halfway through. Edward Bray out there on that front line showing it how to get it done. Gary Whitmer Jr. working his way up from the back of the pack, now sitting currently in 5th position, 3rd on that outside lane. Outside lane trying to make something happen. That number 42 has found his way. Last time we saw him, he was at the back of the pack. Taking a look at our running order. Edward Bray Colin Bauer, Everett Lane, Sean Powell, Don Williams, Gary Whitmer Jr., Wilson DeCastro, Kevin Scott Nelson, Donald Stewart, Lee Ryerson Jr., Thomas Jowers, John Henderson, Kyle Schlappick, John Rogers, Brandon Harder, Joel Guy, Lee Staples, Travis Browder, and Kerry Allen Stewart. 2 laps down. Everyone else has taken it to the garage. We are on lap 55 of 100. Just 45 laps to go. First half of the race is in the books. Take a look at our summary real quick. Current leader is being shown as Colin Bauer. 55 laps completed, 25 lead changes, 1 caution for 3 laps. Now that's not technically correct because the program crashed. There was 1 caution before that, so we've had 2 cautions tonight. Take a quick moment here to run one more commercial. See you back here in just a few seconds. And welcome back, the number 13 car, Don Williams, found his way back up to the front. Couple of cars starting to lose that draft. Got Travis Browder and the 183 of Thomas Jowers. Let's jump back and take a look at Travis Browder. Travis Browder pushing on the back very hard, trying to get them back up to that pack. Doing a great job of pushing on that car to get them up there. Gonna have to do some more work here though. Currently sitting 1.3 seconds back. Let's watch that gap and see if John Rogers, the 183 and 18 of Travis Browder, can work to catch that pack. I don't think that was a very great move pulling out like that, as Travis has now dropped 1.4 seconds back from the leader. They're almost close enough to where they can smell the air, get a little, as we're 3 wide up front. Everett Lane stuck in the middle. Everett Lane finds a way down to that inside lane, and we get back to 2 wide. Travis Browder still 1.4 seconds back. These guys get in line and stay in line, they might have a chance to get up to this lead pack as we get a little wiggly squiggly up front. Cars dicing a little bit back and forth, side to side. Now Travis Browder and John Rogers and the number 183 car of Thomas Jowers are starting to close that distance. They were 1.4 seconds back. They're just 1 second back now. They have caught the draft officially. Lee Ryerson Jr. falling back off the draft a little bit here. This the 22 car coming up from behind will definitely help him as he pulls high. A lot of movement going on in this pack. Meanwhile, up front, Colin Bauer leading the way with the help of the number 42 of Sean Powell. Gary Whitmer Jr. sits now second on that outside lane. It will be his job to push on the number 42 and see if he can get the 42 to the front. Kevin Scott Nelson third on that outside lane. Colin Bauer still leading. Edward Bray in second, pushing hard. The 13 of Don Williams third on that inside lane. On the outside, you've got the 42 of Sean Powell being pushed by number 5 of Gary Whitmer Jr. with Kevin Scott Nelson and Everett Lane. Riding along with Kevin Scott Nelson, sitting third in line on that outside lane, climbing up on the bumper of Gary Whitmer Jr. 224 having to lift there, didn't want to go 3 wide. 183 getting loose down on the bottom there. Like he may be saving it. As he does, unfortunately, he will more than likely lose the draft. Lap 70 of 100 in the books, just 30 laps to go. Drivers getting ready to buckle her down, as I'm sure they're getting ready start making strategies and plays for the final pit stop. This is now a car pack. Alrighty, time for another trivia question for those of you still out there watching. Anybody out there might be able to tell me, in 1960, how many cars took the green flag? It was the largest field in the Daytona 500 history. You know that one? Let me know in that KMA TV chat. Shane Powell finding his way to the front again seems to be the theme this evening. Gary Whitmer Jr. finally having a shot at that outside lane, giving him an opportunity to run up front for the first time this evening. And Dave Acacia jumping in with the answer of '78, and that is incorrect. It is kind of close, but 68 was the answer I was looking for there. Throw another one at you real quick. The trophy that they present to the Daytona 500 winner is named after a specific person. If you know the name, put that up there in the KMA TV chat. Looks like we have a bit of separation in the field as the pack is broken up now into two distinct packs, possibly getting ready for green flag pit stops. We walk back through the field. Edward Bray sixth, the last one in that lead pack. John Rogers Donald Stewart, Travis Browder, Lee Ryerson Jr. 4-car pack. No one pits this lap. And the last car back there, 151 and the 183, having some difficulties. So the question once again is, what is the trophy? It's named after a person. Who is the trophy that's presented to the Daytona 500 winner named after? And the clue is he was an influential automobile designer. Give you a couple more minutes. Oh, and Dave Acacia chimes in. That is correct. The Harley J. Earl Trophy is named after the influential automobile designer Harley Earl, who also served as the second commissioner of NASCAR. He has been known as the so-called father of the Corvette and designer of the Firebird 1 prototype. So, a little more trivia for you. As we watch our leaders, with just 22 laps to go, I was expecting pit stops here soon. Not sure exactly when these boys are going to need to come in and get their last bit of fuel. I think we had a caution just around the time that that my computer was experiencing issues, and I think that was around lap 50 or so. So I would expect these guys to be on pit road here shortly. Sean Powell still leading. Colin Bauer still sitting in second place. Everett Lane, Gary Whitmer Jr., Kevin Scott Nelson, Edward Bray, John Rogers, Donald Stewart, Travis Browder, Lee Ryerson Jr. And then from there, everyone else is one lap or more down. And here come green flag pit stops. We are with the leader. He is pitting. Some brakes being locked up. Looks like everybody coming that was on the lead lap. Watch to see who comes off pit road first. Looks like it's a drag race between Everett Lane, Shane Powell, and Colin Bauer as we jump back up to Colin Bauer, Sean Powell, Everett Lane getting good pit stops. They have pulled away from the field. We'll see if the rest of the field can get it together and catch up with these three, or if this is going to be the battle for the win here. Jump back to Edward Bray. Edward Bray sitting currently in 9th position, the last car from that lead pack. 19 laps to go. He's going to try to get to that back bumper of Lee Ryerson Jr. and help Lee Ryerson Jr. and Gary Whitmer catch up to the pack of cars in front of them. That will make that pack faster, and hopefully they can catch the leaders and give us a little more exciting finish. As they are catching this pack in front. As we watch overhead, Edward Bray, Gary Whitmer Jr., Kevin Scott Nelson, Travis Browder, and Donald Stewart 6.3 seconds back. Edward Bray is 6.3 seconds back off the leader, 6.4 seconds back. They're actually losing time to the leaders right now. They are going to have to get it situated, or they are going to have major issues. Telemetry must be wrong here, because now I'm showing different statistics here, 1.4 seconds off. So not sure what the telemetry, what was going on with the telemetry, but we jump back to the 66 again and see he is in that same pack, so he's just a few seconds, few tenths of a second further back from Donald Stewart. They're catching those front two as they catch Sean Powell and pass him. That pack of cars moving very quickly. They are just a half a second from the leaders and now are making a run to the outside around the leaders. With a full head of steam, there is nothing that the inside lane can do at this point, except for stay where they are, as we're about to go 3 wide with Joel Guy on the outside. We stay green, no issues. Donald Stewart taking it all the way to the front. Travis Browder sitting on his rear end. Everett Lane jumping to that outside lane. Donald Stewart jumping to the outside lane. Everett Lane, too much speed, had to pull high in order to not get into the back of the 78. That is going to break things up. As we are 3 wide, something's going to have to give here. Everett Lane's going to have to find a way in, or this could be trouble. As he does find a way in. Whew, that was a close one, folks. That will put the number 18 of Travis Browder out in front. As we focus our cameras on the number 18 of Travis Browder, the 225 pushing on him. Colin Bauer going to the outside, got the number 66 of Edward Bray and the 125 of Lee Ryerson Jr. hot on the tail. Everett Lane leading another set of cars to the inside. Jumps up to that outside lane, leaves Gary Whitmer Jr. down on the inside. Edward Bray pushing hard on Colin Bauer, getting him clear. Drops down to the inside. Colin Bauer drops down as well. Everett Lane getting behind the 125. The 224 sliding up. Everett Lane moving with him. 125 now has Everett Lane on his back bumper, probably going to be shoving him to the front with just 13 laps to go. Things are starting to heat up in a hurry. Colin Bauer has found his way back to the lead once again. Everett Lane ducking underneath. We're 3 wide. Lee Ryerson Jr. Lee Ryerson Jr. falling to the back of the pack here. Gary Whitmer down on the inside lane has to make a decision on which way to go. He decides to go high. I would have done the same. Smart choice. Edward Bray thinking about making a move to the outside lane. Decides not to. That outside lane starting to move forward now, catching a little momentum. "12 laps to go, coming to 11 to go." Everett Lane almost even with the number 32 of Colin Bauer. Has passed him, has not cleared him. Will be interesting to see if Everett Lane chooses to stay high or if he's going to drop down. I would assume with this many laps left, he's going to have to jump down because Donald Stewart's going to get hot as he does move down. Donald Stewart moves down a little bit too much, chases Colin Bauer down onto the yellow line. That slows the inside lane up dramatically. The number 5 pushing the 78 past the number 35 of Everett Lane. The number 42 of Sean Powell working his magic, getting back up towards the front. Gary Whitmer Jr. stays to the outside with the help of Sean Powell, but Sean Powell drops to the inside, going to push on the 78 car instead. That leaves Gary Whitmer Jr. stranded. Now Colin Bauer coming up to the rear bumper of the number 5. 10 laps to go, coming to 9 to go. Gary Whitmer Jr. in a very good position if he plays his cards right here tonight. Can't leave the door open for the 42 to come up. You got to stay beside the 42. Donald Stewart on that inside lane. Not sure if he wants to stay high or go low. Travis Browder sitting in the back of the pack here. The back of this lead pack. Kevin Scott Nelson just a little ways off of him. As we see Donald Stewart and Gary Whitmer up here at the front. Travis Browder looking like he's going to lay back, possibly try to make a run. Gary Whitmer Jr. still on that outside lane, getting some help from Colin Bauer. The 66, not sure where he wants to go. The 125, not sure where he wants to go. Number 18 seems like he may be laying back here to try to get a big run. Not sure, as the inside lane getting a little bit wiggly squiggly, not staying hooked up. The number 5 starting to pull dead even with the number 78. Number 5 car edging ahead just a little bit. Number 32 on that rear bumper of Gary Whitmer Jr. about as much as he can be. Gonna try to push him clear. Does push him clear. Moves down in front of the 78 car. Gary Whitmer Jr. currently leading this race. 78 thinking about jumping high. The 32 goes high. The 78 stays with Gary Whitmer Jr. Going to get to Gary's back bumper. Give him a shove. Here comes Edward Bray and Colin Bauer on the outside. Shane Powell trapped out. Oh, no, there's a touch. And we're going to have a caution flag with just 6 laps to go. Gary Whitmer Jr., your leader, but that is a very unfortunate incident. Let's go ahead and back that up and take a look at that. As we watch I'm gonna put the camera on the number 78 car. Look like the 78 may have gotten loose. Not sure exactly if it was his doing or not. Let's back it up. Looks like some net code involved there, folks. I didn't see any contact whatsoever, so unfortunately some net code causing that issue. We'll back it up one more time. We'll watch how many cars end up involved in this. Gonna put it into slow motion here. The 32 gets into the 66, the 35, the 18, the 224, the 42, the 125 looks like he may have gotten away with no damage. Possibly only 3 cars with no damage as we go back to live. Just 5 laps to go. This possibly could be a 1 or 2 lap shootout as the number 13 car, the number 18 car of Travis Browder sounds like he blew it up going into pit road. Let's see if he's going to be able to make it to pit road to his pit stall, and if he's got a fast repair left. If he has a fast repair left, that car will become brand new. Does not look like Travis Browder has a fast repair remaining. Unfortunately, going to have to sit there and get his car fixed. So we jump back to our leader. Looks like you've got Gary Whitmer Jr. leading this race. Everett Lane. Let's go ahead and jump and take a look at these cars real quick. Gary Whitmer Jr. leading. Let's pull Gary Whitmer Jr. up here. Gary Whitmer Jr., this is Ron Klein in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
I got you, Ronald.
Well, I'm showing 4 to go. Are you guys going to get her back under green?
They're discussing 1 to go or it's over. We're not 100% sure.
A lot of cars got damaged in that accident. Not sure how many cars have the ability for a fast repair. I'm taking a look at your car. You were out front. Luckily, looks like you escaped with no damage whatsoever. I cannot say the same for most of the cars behind you, and the cars that did pit will be unfortunately trapped behind some slower cars. So it could work out to your benefit, or it could actually hurt you very badly, because if these cars can't keep up with you, you're going to have no one to push you if you go back to green.
Right, exactly.
So I'm gonna ride along here with you, and looks like we got 3 to go. Have you guys gotten the 2 to go yet?
Yeah, 2 to go green.
So you guys are going to be going back to green flag racing. Looks like we're going to have probably a 1
lap
shootout. Okie dokie. Well, you think you can hold them off?
I hope I can. I've tried all night to get up here and finally got up here, so I'm gonna hold on to it.
Well, there's like I said, there's some damaged cars directly behind you, and then some of the cars that were damaged that went in and got repaired or towards the back. But unfortunately, looks like you're not going to have a lot of help off the bat. You know, I'm rooting for you. I'd love to see you in victory lane tonight.
Yep.
Best of luck
Take
to you, bud.
ATV Impala to the victory lane.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. All I can tell you is watch your mirrors and do the best you can, because there's some damaged cars that are going to be behind you. But I think you can do it. I think you can hold them off for one lap.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sure. I know Becky and Gary are senior out there. If you want to give a quick shout out before I let you go.
Yep. Big shout out to Mom and Dad. Love you guys. Thank you for watching.
All right, you guys looking like you're double file. I'm going to let you go, sir, so you can concentrate. Best of luck to you. Hope you can bring it home.
All right. Thanks, Ron.
All right, folks. Gary Whitmer Jr. out there on that inside position. He's got Everett fast lane to his outside. A lot of damage to that car. The 224 on the inside lane with a lot of damage to his car as well. Then you've got the 125 on the outside, who looks like he may have gotten through it with no damage. The 22 of John Rogers looking like he has no damage. Then the 13 car looking clean. 64, 32, all those guys back there have clean cars. The question will be, can Gary Whitmer Jr. hold everyone off for one lap? He's going to need everything that he can get from the 224. The 224 with a lot of damage. Hopefully the 224 can give him a good shove. The 35 probably not going to be as fast. Going to be a very interesting finish. I have to try to stay impartial as a broadcaster, but Gary Whitmer Jr. is a teammate of mine in RTK Motorsports, so you know who I'm rooting for. I try to be very impartial, but it's not gonna happen tonight, folks. Gary Whitmer Jr. off to a great start. He's going to have to be very, very careful here. John Rogers is going to get a run. The 224 is coming up on the back bumper. He's pushing. 224 is going to stay with Gary Whitmer Jr. The 224 going to that outside, staying to the inside, going to push on the 224. Colin Bauer making a move to the outside on his own with help now. Gary Whitmer Jr. going to have to really, really do something special here. He's got no help on that inside. I just don't think he can get it done. Doesn't have any help whatsoever. Colin Bauer pulling down on the inside. Colin Bauer taking the checkered flag. There you have it, folks. I am showing Gary Whitmer Jr. coming home in third position. Colin Bauer in first. John Rogers in second. We'll get those guys up here and chat with them. Alrighty, we got our third place finisher, Gary Whitmer Jr. Is that correct? Came across the line in third, correct, sir?
Yep, I think so.
All right, talk to me about that last lap. Talked to you just before the green flag came out, and unfortunately, exactly what we were afraid of happened. So go ahead and talk to me about your last lap.
Last lap, Kevin, I think, had some damage, so he couldn't help me really a whole lot, but I just stayed to the inside didn't try to. I seen them coming, but I didn't want to step out. I didn't want to cause a wreck at the end, so I just kept my line and hope for the best.
Copy that. And it looked like John Rogers actually was thinking about staying down and pushing the 224, but I think he saw that the 224 just had too much damage and decided it was better to go to the outside lane, and thought he probably had a better shot there. Um, Great finish for you, though. Podium finish. Talk to me about your night.
Yeah, the night was started up front and tried to work my way up towards the more of the front, but I don't know. It was back and forth. You had to watch.
Copy that. And we talked a little bit about your paint job during the broadcast. Talk to me about your paint job real quick, and any shout outs that you'd like to give out there.
Yeah, shout outs to the fans and mom and dad, everybody that's watching. This KMA TV Impala was put up by Gearhead Paints, Ted Emmenheiser. He does a lot of paints for us here at KMA Racing.
We'll copy that. Anybody else before I move on?
Michael Kaleni, Pad, KMA TV, you Ronald, RTK Motorsport, and Over the Top Paints.
Copy that. I gotta tell you, I try to be as impartial as I possibly can during these races, but I couldn't help myself, man. I was rooting for you hard here on the broadcast, which I know I shouldn't be, but I was really pulling for you, and I was hoping that there was a way that you could find a way to get some speed, and but unfortunately, kind of knew you were a sitting duck there too. So, congratulations on a third place finish and keeping it clean, bringing it home.
Yep, thanks.
All right, folks. Gary Whitmer bringing home third, but the man of the hour, Colin Bauer, didn't even mean to do that, but Colin Bauer, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Talk to me about your night tonight here at Daytona.
Well, it was a lot of fun. Definitely a great race with everybody. We were really fast, really competitive all night. Ran a lot with Everett and Ed, either pushing them to the lead or getting pushed by them. So that was a lot of fun, and it's really nice to get me one of these here for KMA and in this league in general. Finished second a lot in the Sunday night races, so it's finally nice to get me one.
Roger that. Now talk to me about your Home Depot paint scheme here.
It's a throwback to Mr. Tony Stewart. I found it on Trading Paints today, and definitely a cool little paint scheme. Throwback, and I don't know, just thought it looked cool.
Yeah, during the broadcast, we walked around all the cars, and I said you must have either been a Tony Stewart fan or a Matt Kenseth fan, since I do believe Matt Kenseth actually drove that car as well, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, figured you were one of the two. I was kind of hoping more towards the Tony Stewart side, but
yeah, definitely.
Overall, I thought it was a great race tonight. Talk to me about that last lap. You guys had some slower cars that stayed out there, and really changed the dynamic of the race there.
Yeah, I mean, he had who was it? The 24 had been saying in TeamSpeak, or he wasn't the 24 tonight at Everett. He'd been saying that he had damage and he didn't know if he was going to get going good. And then Gary said he was going to go on the pace car, and I was dozing or something. I didn't go when everybody else went, but there was a big checkup and I got a big run, and I was hollering at John to help me out, and he came up there with me there at the end, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without him. I definitely have to go back and watch it again, because that was a lot of fun, and I don't know how I got the run I did, but I did, and it was a great night game.
Unfortunately, I try to be as impartial as I can, but admittedly, I mean, it's literally a one-lap shootout, and RTK Motorsports, my guy, Gary Whitmer Jr. is sitting there in first position, but at the same time, I talked to him right before we were going back to green and talked to him on the caution because he was the leader, and we kind of chatted and said, kind of implicated that he was a sitting duck sitting there because the car to his outside and the car behind him were both damaged, and you know, he said he saw you coming to the outside, but he didn't want to pull up and cause a wreck. So I can't blame him for that, and appreciate him driving clean and bringing it home clean. But you guys did have such a big run on the backstretch that I mean, by turn middle of turn 3, we knew it was over. It was just a matter of how far the rest of the guys behind you were going to come up.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how I got the run I did. I know the guy who was pushing him, I think it was the 224. I knew he had damage, and so same with Everett. So yeah, that's probably why I got the run I did. And like I said, John really helped me out there, and you weren't the only one rooting for Gary. I know Joel and Lee and all them, and we're rooting for him. So
I
definitely a fan.
Yeah, he's just been so close so many times here lately. It'll
Right.
happen. It'll happen. But it's nice when you run up front and you have a chance to win. And I'm sure you know, I've been there. It sucks when you're up front, you got a chance to win, and you don't. But it's always nice when you're up front and you have a chance to win. So,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then you do, like you did tonight. So,
yes, sir.
well, talk
Yeah.
to me real quick about anybody that you'd like to give a quick shout out to, and then we'll wrap it up.
Well, I gotta thank you, RTK, for broadcasting this tonight, and KMA for putting all this on. It's a great event, and everybody who was racing tonight, because it was, I think we only had 3 or 4 cautions. It was a pretty clean race overall.
Yep.
And Ed and Gary, and definitely the 22 there for helping me win that race.
Roger that. Well, there you have it, folks. Colin Bauer wins tonight at Daytona International Speedway, bringing it home in true fashion, passing on the last lap to take the win. I want to thank you for your time, and thanks for coming out tonight, Colin. Hope to see you tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. I'll see you tomorrow night, Ronald.
Alrighty. All right, fans, that's going to do it for me up here in the booth. Want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching the race tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but it does happen even in real life. Well, this is real life, but even in TV, real TV, it happens. But I do want to apologize for that, and glad we got the broadcast back on track. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night we'll be at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Cup cars, and on Saturday we'll be at Talladega in the trucks. No race this Sunday, so that'll end the week for us, and then we'll start Monday, a whole new week. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, Saturday night, tune in 8:05. We'll be racing. Hope to see you there. On behalf of KMA Racing, KMA TV, RTK Motorsports, want to thank you one last time, and we'll see you next time.
then it's C class setup.